stop at the terminal. Failure to do so could result in serious injury. In case of an emergency, listen for announcements and instructions from the crew. Please familiarize yourself with the location of life jackets on this ferry. They are located in marked lockers and bins along the cabin. Exit into the terminal and into the waiting room to await the next ferry.
An epidemic is an unusual number of cases of a disease at a particular place and time affecting a certain group of people, and that certainly applies to the opioid crisis. A lot of people think that an epidemic has to be caused by an infection like HIV or Ebola or COVID, but that's actually not true. So this is indeed an epidemic because we're seeing staggering rise in cases over a particular period of time. New York has always had a problem with drugs, and there's an underground economy which is based on drugs, and it's been there for a very, very, very long time. There are a lot of hospitals there, there are a lot of doctors there, there's a lot of despair there.
Yeah, Staten Island in particular is well known. I think it's top 2 in the country for opioid use. And it used to be pills. Now, of course, it's heroin because pills are less available and heroin's pretty cheap. Whatever substance a person buys, be it meth or crack or heroin, it's going to be laced with fentanyl. Fentanyl is in everything. It's like sugar in your diet. It's ubiquitous, I would say. Staten Island is a suburb, or it's really a borough, but it's kind of like a suburb of New York. It's got a lot of disposable income, and it's going to have a lot of drug use. It keeps coming up in the news as being one of the highest rates of opioid addiction in the country. It's an opportunity to sell. And once you sell enough, it takes on a life of its own.
With the opioid crisis, we're really dealing with a deeply social, psychological, and political problem, and we're developing the tools as we go along.
This is a neurological problem. Everybody knows the dangers of drugs. That's going on. I remember when Ronald Reagan did the whole, war on drugs, say no to drugs, and Nancy Reagan took it and ran with it. Where they used to say in the 80s, marijuana is a gateway drug, is bullshit, in my opinion. Trauma is the gateway to drug use. Trauma has massive effects on the brain. You will see changes in the brain from depression and trauma, and depression's another one where you have people in a negative mood state or a feeling of emptiness and loneliness that wants to be alleviated. It can change the personality. We call that complex PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. And it can also create this desperation for avoidance and numbing. And drugs are very, very good at doing that. They work fast, they're very effective, they're so strong. But you know something, the after effects can be kind of tough to deal with.
Opioids make you feel happy in a very profound way, that it makes you feel like, you know, you've just done a good thing, you've just gotten an A in an exam, or done a really good job on a piece of work, or created a beautiful piece of art, or bonded with a newborn baby or something. It makes life feel more meaningful. So it really calms everything, the depression, the anxiety, you know, all of the struggles of modern life in this country in particular, given the vast inequalities, the troubled communities, and the difficulties of kind of making ends meet and finding dignity in our particular socioeconomic situation at the moment.
Part of what we always try to do as mental health workers is to reduce the stigma. You know, one of the first things you learn in social work school is that you always start where the client is. It's not our needs and our wishes. It's what do you need? How can I help you? How can I help you today? And sometimes it's even just baby steps, because sometimes you're dealing with people that are in such a crisis or so young that don't have the life experience going forward to know that, you know what, guys, no matter what, the sun comes out tomorrow. I know that sounds incredibly corny, but it does. And sometimes it's just those little steps that you need to get someone through. Just sometimes everyday life could be a crisis, you know, for people. Years ago, there was a movement to call our clients consumers of mental health services, the same way we're consumers of everyday goods. You know, there's an old joke, I don't care what you call me, just don't call me late for dinner. So I don't care what anyone calls anyone, but it just has to start with respect. The respect to understand that you're coming to me because you need something that hopefully we have to give you. You know, so it's like a reciprocal relationship.
Do people accept drug use as an illness? Well, maybe if they realize what was going on physically to a person, they might. You ever have sugar?
I'm addicted to sugar.
He's addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
This helped for you. We don't treat sugar addicts. Have you ever seen a treatment center for sugar? You have these weight loss places, you know, that's one thing. They're never labeled as addicts, but it's called an eating disorder, not addicts. It starts as a volitional behavior. You're buying Mike and Ike's in 7-Eleven, and you know, you eat enough Mike and Ike's, you're going to get diabetes. We never deny treatment or look askance at people who have type 2 diabetes. They're treated with insulin. What's the difference between a diabetic condition, type 2 diabetes, and treating a drug addict? Listen, overeating, eating sugar, you get a dopamine hit. Over time, you develop an addiction or a reliance on sugar. If you ever stop sugar, you feel crappy. You actually have to do it a little bit at a time, like an addiction process, to prevent withdrawal. Isn't that kind of the same thing as drugs? You know? What can we do as an individual? Dude, you gotta treat an addict like a human being. They are human beings. They have the same wants and desires as we do. And you'll get a lot further. You know? That's what I think you should remember.